Now, we've all been hearing the soundtrack to it. It's The Greatest Showman, starring Hugh Jackman. I had originally wanted to see it at the cinema, but I never got around to it at the time. And when then I completely forgot about it. And then one day we were talking about the soundtrack, and I thought I'd give it a go. So I downloaded a copy of it, and pretty much had it on repeat for about 3-4 weeks. And downloaded a copy of the film, and then re-downloaded it after it came out again, because the one I got wasn't very good. And it is actually a very good film. I know people are going, oh, it's so good. It is a very, very good film. I won't deny that. The general principle revolves around... The principle of the film revolves around... Jackman's character is a guy called Phineas Barnum, who was a real guy back in the day, who loses his job basically because it's like the Great Depression, I think, and he wants to obviously provide for his next week's stiff. He wants to provide for his family, and he's come from nothing, and his in-laws are just stupidly wealthy. And if you know the whole thing about class and wealth, then basically if you want some reference, just look at Titanic. And he before he loses his job, he has the deeds to a fleet of ships come across his desk, and he steals them, and he goes to the bank and gets the collateral, which is 10 grand, which doesn't sound like a lot to us in the way that money works now. But because bear in mind, we've got billionaires, and I think there's a trillionaire out somewhere. But the at the time, £10,000 would have bought you bloody everything. He buys a building and tries to make an attraction, and it doesn't work. So he redoes it with freaks aren't the word, but different people who are shunned and hidden away. With the exception of 2, which I can't see why, because they're just brother and sister who do trapeze acts. So that's the only difference bit. So, for instance, you got like the bearded lady, the world's biggest man, a dwarf, the guy covered in tattoos, the wolf boy, etc., etc. And it's about how he starts to become a success, but he kind of loses his way. So it's just kind of sort of, I'm trying to make money, but at the same time I'm trying to do this and do this. And it's all about me trying to fulfill something. But the main part of it is actually the music, so the soundtrack. You can watch the film if you haven't heard the soundtrack, then this will make you want to get a copy of it. It's a very good film. It's got Zac Efron in it as well, who I had only ever heard sing. And then when I heard him talking, I was just like, who's that? And then when I looked at the box, I was just like, wait a minute. I've never heard him speak. And no, I haven't seen High School Musical because I didn't want to. But even if I had, he would have sounded different anyway. I would be very surprised if there are that many people who haven't heard one of the tracks or seen the film. But if you haven't, I would recommend going to do either or. Either listen to the soundtrack or watch the film, or buy both or whatever. I would recommend it. It's a very good film. So again, Wikipedia downstairs. Go and have a look.